Yes, welcome to Conversations of the Heart, Season 3, Episode 3. We are talking today with Christine the lawyer. Everything is, today is going to be about trademarks, trademarking your brand, your catchphrases, your businesses, so everything is going to be about trademarking today, copywriting, things going on with the LLCs and things like that. The differences of using trademarks or using lawyers to get your trademarks versus a place like LegalZoom and things like that. So definitely going to have a great conversation with Christine, the lawyer. Appreciate y'all tuning in. As soon as she comes on board, I'll bring her right on in. Oh, what up, Al? Janera, what's going on? Long time. How you doing? Jeez, it's been a minute. Yeah, so we're definitely going to be talking trademarks. Appreciate everybody who tuned in to my last show with Rob Hill Sr. And everybody who tuned in to my first show for Season 3 with Sylvester McNutt. It's been an incredible couple of episodes. So it's gonna be incredible. Let's see where she's at. Yeah, Christine the lawyer has joined. She is here. Just gonna wait for her to tap in. Let's see. All right, about to go live here.
Hello, how you doing?
Christine, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I can't complain. Appreciate you for coming on the show.
No problem. I'm excited to be here and to talk to everybody about everything about trademarks and all those good things. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Where's my cup of water? I need that close by.
No, believe me, I do understand that. So tell the people, for the people who don't know you, what it is that you do, how they can find you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No problem. So my name is Christine Duchatellier. I am a business and trademark attorney. I help entrepreneurs and creatives protect their businesses and their brands. I help you protect the things that you create so that no one can steal it from you. And if someone thinks they can steal it from you, we can go after them. I can be found on Instagram. I'm very accessible on Instagram. I try to share a lot of content surrounding business law and trademarks and protecting your business. I can definitely, people slide in my DMs all the time. I try to help as many people as I can. And again, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here to speak with everyone today.
Perfect. And so where can they, find you? Of course, here on Instagram, of course, Christine of the lawyer, but where else? Do you have a website? Where can they go to book your services?
So my website is under construction. I'm planning a website launch with the new website soon. So I'm actually really excited for that.
Awesome.
But I can be reached by email. My email is Christine at D as in dog, U as in umbrella, C as in cat, H law.com. That is my email. And the phone number is 347. I can never say it whenever I'm on the spot.
Now, hold on. Let's just give him the email. Let's just give him the email.
It's the firm line. It's the firm line. And
okay.
It's crazy. I can easily just type it out. I have to imagine a keyboard to type this thing out right now. But
Got you.
The phone number is 347-450-9388. And that is the business line. So if you reach out on that phone number, someone from my team will get back to you and we will be able to connect as well.
Perfect. So for the people who don't know, because everybody's coming out with, businesses now, some have DBAs, some have LLCs, and, if you're a little more advanced, S Corps and C Corps and everything else, partnerships, all types of things, right? But there are some people who just have like a DBA, right, and an LLC. And they may say, my business is small right now. Like, why do I need trademark? What is a trademark? So just explain to the people just what is a trademark and why do you need one?
Okay, and a lot of people you touched on something that's very important. A lot of people have the misconception that you need to be big to have a trademark. You don't need to be big to have a trademark because anyone can take your name at any time. Someone else may come up with a similar name. They don't know you, but they went and filed the trademark first. And now if you want that trademark, you have to spend a lot of money to fight them, and that's not even guaranteed. So I'll back it up a little bit and start with what a trademark is and why you need it. A trademark is a source identifier. It identifies where a product or a service comes from. So when you see a particular brand name, you know where whatever that product is came from. You see the Nike swoosh, you see the 3 stripes on the Adidas, you see anything like that. You already know that this is from that particular brand. You already know what that company stands for. You already know what kind of quality product you're going to get. You have all of these thoughts that come to mind because you see a particular brand. I don't know if you all remember with the Lil Nas X and the sneakers that he came out with, the devil shoes, whatever they were called. Just because it had Nike on it, the swoosh on it, people thought that Nike endorsed those sneakers, and people were canceling Nike. I'm not buying from Nike anymore. We don't support this. I don't want anything to do with this at all.
Right.
And Nike had to sit there and say, listen, you can't do this because you are harming my brand. So you want to have a trademark so that if someone tries to use your brand in a way that doesn't represent your company, doesn't represent your values, or they're trying to make money using something that you've created, you want to be able to stop those people so that they can't do that. You don't want anybody out there making money off of something that you spent the time creating, you spent the time building, you spent the time growing. A trademark can be anything such as a logo. It can be the brand name itself. It can be a slogan, a tagline. You have a podcast that has a title. That's something that you can trademark. You have a signature product or a signature service. Those are things that can be trademarked as well. You have a stage name, a pen name, so many things, signature events, special product lines. You may have a main brand and you have a product line and you want to protect that as well. You can do all of that. All of those things that distinguish or differentiate your products or services from those of others is something that can and should be protected.
And it's funny because, most companies have a logo. They have, and they have the name, right? So some people might say, I'll trademark the name, right? Or I'll trademark the logo. But then it's like, wait a minute. Now I have to do both, right? In which sometimes you don't think about that, because it's just like, I don't want anybody to take my name, right? But if Nike just trademarked just Nike, somebody could take their logo. Yeah. Right, the famous logo that the big, the check, right? And I'm sure somebody would have taken the check by now, right? If they could. But, so that's very interesting. So when you're opening up a business, you got to look at trademarking, not just your name, but your logo as well. And not just your logo, but your name. And then anything else sometimes that can come with that. So that's very interesting. And something that's worth talking about. So when it comes to copyrights, right? What's the difference between a copyright and a trademark?
Yes, and that's a question I get a lot because we all mix them up all the time. We think about intellectual property and it's like, I need a patent, a trademark, and a copyright. It's like, hold on one second. Let's try to figure out what you have and what you need.
Right.
So copyright is a little different. And copyright is a protection that's given to any kind of artistic creation that's fixed in a tangible medium. I hate using like these lawyerly words, but that's the, that's the definition. Right. And when they say a tangible medium, They just mean something that you can physically touch. So let's say you typed up some lyrics and it's stored on your computer or on your phone. That's something that you can copyright because it is somewhere. If it's just in your mind, you can't protect that. It has to be, you have to put it out somewhere. You write it on you draw it out on a piece of paper. You type it out on a computer. You record it as if it's a song. You record the song or the beat, whatever it is. That is what the Copyright Office means when they talk about a tangible medium. It has to be something creative, and you have to create it yourself in order to gain protection. Now, with copyright, you see a lot of these articles on the internet about poor man's copyright. Once you create it, you mail it to yourself, then all of a sudden it's protected with a copyright. But that's not necessarily the case. Once you create that item, once you take that photo, once you record that song, once you write those lyrics, it's already protected by copyright. The only reason that people do take it a step further is because in order to sue someone for copyright infringement, you have to actually register it. So although you have the copyright from when you created whatever it is that you've created, you have to take that extra step and register it with the Copyright Office in order to be able to sue someone for copyright infringement.
Got it. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Also,
wow. So that's a big difference. Okay.
Exactly. And also with copyright, it protects your work in that other people can't copy your work. They can't distribute your work or sell it without your permission. They're going to need all of that in order to do those things. With trademark, you have to, you know what? I'm not even, it's fine. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought.
It's all good. No, it's all good. It happens to us. So now let's just say you have a DBA. What if you don't have an LLC yet, right? But you have like a DBA, like you just get started. Can you still get file for a trademark?
Yes. So you can still file for a trademark. It is what a lot of attorneys will tell you is to have that company just so that all of your business assets are all together and you're not mixing your business assets and your personal assets. You're keeping them separate. So you can register a trademark as an individual. You can register a trademark as an LLC, as a corporation, as a partnership, however you want. You can file that application. So it's completely up to you.
Okay. And typically, how long does this trademark process go? I mean, some people, it's like I've heard it could take up to 12 months. Some people expect it to happen in like 30 or 60 days, and it's just like, I don't think so. How long?
No, not happening at this point in time. It's been taking more than a year for the trademarks to go through if there are no issues at all. It's been taking, yes. So before the pandemic, it was taking like 3 to 4 months for the trademark office to look at the applications. Now they're quoting us at 6 months, but really it's more like 8 months. And I have some applications that are more than a year old that haven't been looked at. So they are very behind because like you said earlier at the beginning of this live, there are a lot of people that started businesses, and that all happened in 2020 when people were laid off from their jobs and they said, you know what, let me pursue my dreams instead. So many, many, many trademark applications were filed in 2020 and in 2021, and the trademark office simply cannot keep up. So they're very, very, very backed up. But once you file that application, at least you know you have your place in line. Even if it does take a year and a half for you to get the certificate, you know that you filed on April 7th, 2022, and someone filed on April 10th, 2022, they're behind you in line. At least you know that.
Wow. So if anybody needs a job, they got to go to the trademarking office because they seem to be a little bit backed up. Wow. So what are some of the ramifications behind not having a trademark that you've seen as a lawyer?
Well, what you see is there are other people out there that take that brand name and do something with it. I've seen where someone may not have a trademark and they contact me to help them file their application. I go online, I search, and someone has the brand name and they're using it, or maybe there are 10 people using the same brand name, and it's like, now we have to have a conversation. There are all these people out here using this name. They're calling their store Christine's store. Do you really want to keep this name, or do you want to try to find something else so that when people are looking for your store, they're not finding these 10 or other stores at the same time too? Because you do want to make sure, if you do have a brand, that it's unique. You don't want to have a brand where you search it on Google and there are so many companies that pop up with the same brand name, because someone's going to think they're purchasing from you, but they're purchasing from another company. You don't know how they run their business. You don't know whether they are responsive. You don't know whether they take orders and don't fulfill the orders. You don't know if they're taking payment for services and just ghosting. You have no idea what's going on. So you want to be sure that you get that name, you get that unique name, you protect it, and you enforce your protection as well.
Oh, that's really good information. So what is the difference between somebody hiring you, right, versus, I have lots of people that I know that have done their trademarks, and there's one place they always say to go do, and that's LegalZoom. It's like, I got mine done at LegalZoom. It was like, whatever, $600, done deal, everything's good. So what is the difference between going to a lawyer like yourself and doing it with a place like LegalZoom?
So the first thing I would say about LegalZoom or those other document preparing services that, they just take your information and submit it, is that they literally, whatever you would have typed on that USPTO website, they take that information and just fill it in the application. They collect all the information in a form. What's your name? What's the name of the owner? What's the address? What's the phone number? What are you selling? And they just file it, but they don't really analyze what they're filing. They're not your attorneys. They're not strategizing. They're not planning. They're not saying, maybe we should try to file it this way instead of that way. You attach your proof. They're not looking at the proof and saying, this is not the right proof for this kind of application. So what I do find a lot is that when I have clients that have filed with LegalZoom or some other service provider, the main issues I'm finding with the applications are that the descriptions are incorrect. I have one client who thought she was filing for a TV show, but they actually filed for t-shirts, and I can't change that once it's filed. You can't try to expand. You can only make things smaller. So, and you can't even go smaller from t-shirts. It's like t-shirts and that's it. I can't say we're selling hats or anything like that. But she does have a t-shirt line, but her intention was not to file for the t-shirt line. It was to file for a show that she's putting together. Also, you find that with the same thing I was talking about earlier, the proof that you submit. A lot of my clients are clients that have retail stores, and they'll submit a picture of the t-shirt with the brand name just written across the front of the shirt. Trademark office is not accepting that for proof that you're using that. They're saying it's just a decoration. If you're looking for where a t-shirt comes from, you're not looking for the words on the front of the shirt. Say whatever it wants. You're looking at the tag. You're looking at the price tag. You're looking at the banner of a website. You're looking at the inside tag in the back of your shirt or in the back of a pair of jeans. Those are the places you look when you're trying to figure out who made this shirt. What brand is this shirt? You're not looking at the front of the shirt. So I think those are two main ones. A third one, sometimes they're saying they're an LLC, but they're putting their name. So it'll say Christine Duchatellier, and then it'll say, check off this box, LLC. So the trademark office is like, are you a person or are you an LLC? Can you clarify this for me? Now, when they file these applications with the trademark office and they find these issues, the trademark office finds these issues, the trademark office will issue what's called an office action. And what an office action is, it's just them saying, here are some issues we have with the application. Please correct them within 6 months so that we can continue the process. Now, when they get these office actions and they haven't filed it using an attorney or someone who is knowledgeable as far as trademarks, they just disregard it. And once that 6 months passes, the application is abandoned. And after the application is abandoned, there's a grace period of about 2 months. Nothing happens within those 2 months, then you're completely like abandoned. You can't even try to bring back the application. And if you want to file, you have to start the process all over again from the very beginning and get to the back of the line. So a lot of people file their applications using LegalZoom and a few other providers, and they don't even know that their application's abandoned because they saw the email and didn't know what it meant and just ignored it. And they're saying, yeah, I have my trademark already. And you go look it up and it's dead. So, yes. So if people do file, there are people that are successful when they file using service providers. I'm not saying it never works.
Of course.
But you would have to know what you're doing and actually read the instructions and file it correctly. Second issue with filing with a service provider is most times they don't do a search and they don't analyze any kind of search results regarding a trademark. So when you file the trademark application, prior to filing, I should say, the trademark application, the trademark lawyer will do a search and make sure there's nothing else out there. If you use a service provider, they're just filling a document preparer, I should say. They're just submitting whatever you give them. They're not looking to see if there's already Nike out there and you can't file this application for Nike for sneakers. They're just going to let you file it. If I went over there on LegalZoom right now and tried to file Nike for sneakers, they would file that application with no problem. So it's the truth.
Okay.
So you
That's
just
crazy.
You just want to be sure that that issue with regards to not having something else out there that could block your application is not an issue. And that's another major issue when you use a document preparer to file your trademark. They're not looking for that. And once they file your application, you get the office action. No one does anything about it. It goes away.
Wow. That is a lot of information, and it's good to know, because I think when most people just see like the big box, document preparers, it's just like, all right, like that's where you should go to file your documents, right? That's what the thing that everyone prefers, right? But in essence, it's just like probably the difference between having a public defender and a lawyer and a real lawyer and like a real, you know what I mean? Like hires.
I'm not going
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Defenders.
No, I'm just saying like.
No, but I'll say this.
I'm just saying you do get what you pay for.
But
right?
So with the PDs, here's the thing with the PDs, and I just commend them because they a lot of to become a PD, it's not even really, it's not everybody can get into a public defender's office. They want really top ranked people to do those kinds of jobs, and they actually believe in what they do. So I will never. I know they have a lot of workload.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to shun them. Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times you get what you pay for. Is what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because if you pay for a specific lawyer, right? Like
they have more time for you.
You'll get your attention. You'll get the time. You get your case prepared. Like like it's a different level of care. It's pretty much what I was saying. Salute to all the public defenders out there. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you do get a different level of care. You know what I mean? When you pay for different things.
I would say that. I wouldn't say that. I would rather compare something else other than PDs, just because.
All right, you're a lawyer. All right. I ain't gonna get you jammed up.
They care so much, and that's the only reason why they're able to do what they do for the price that they get paid to do it. Honestly, because and also
that's true.
This is a tangent, but just
please.
Just having that kind of caseload, maybe they're unable to dedicate the time, but trust me, those people care. Those people care more than the people that you pay.
No, right, of course. No, like the care wasn't the issue, but it's more about when you pay for certain things, for like certain level for certain things, you do get a different type of care, in a sense where it's like I'm focused on
you, and I'm going to do the work for, for you because I have the time and the resources because you're paying me a certain amount of
Exactly. Yeah,
money,
yeah. No, I
right?
understand that too. But shout out to the public
Yeah, yeah.
defenders. Love
Shout out
y'all.
to all the public defenders. Yeah. Salute to you, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about you. So what made you get into like just doing trademarks? Being just being a lawyer. Like, what got you into that? Like, what got you interested into that?
So I never really knew what I wanted to do with like my law degree. I knew I wanted to be a
Yeah.
lawyer, and me, I'm the
Mm-hmm.
type of person, once I say I don't want to do something, I'm going to do it no matter what. And I even
Mm-hmm.
remember being in law school, like, I don't even know if I really want to do this, but I did it anyway because I said I was going to be a lawyer, and there was not going to be anybody that was going to say, like, Christine said she wants to be a lawyer, and she never became a lawyer. That was just me. That was my ego. So I went to law school. I became a lawyer.
Okay.
I finished.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I finished, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, what can I do to kind of serve my community? What could I do to help people that look like me? And I was, do I want to do immigration? Like, I don't know. What do I want to do? And I came across the profile of an attorney, a business attorney, um, and she was working with businesses. She owned her own firm. She was working with businesses, and she was working with
Mm-hmm.
like young attorneys, new attorneys, and helping them build their own businesses. And I saw that and I said, you know what? I think this is exactly what I want to do. And, I worked with her. I learned from her. And, you know, now I'm here and I'm able to do what I've been doing. And I'm super, super, super happy that I came across her profile. I don't even know how, but shout out to
That's
Dana.
amazing.
Shout out to Dana
Mm-hmm.
Thomas. But she is amazing, and she pours so much into attorneys and attorneys that are interested in working with entrepreneurs. There are so many businesses, so many trademarks to be filed. There's plenty of space for all of us. A lot of us are very collaborative. We help each other out. We send each other work. We share information with each other, because I can't file every single trademark that needs to be filed. It's just impossible. Um, so I'm just really glad that I kind of fell into this. And the more entrepreneurs I meet, the more inspired I feel,
Mm-hmm.
the more I want to give. That when they talk about their businesses and how they came up with the idea or the cool names that they have, I'm like, how did you think of that? You know what I mean? Um, it's so cool helping them helping them put their businesses in a position where they can pitch to certain investors or pitch to TV shows or whatever it is. It's just really, really, really amazing, and it just makes me want to continue doing this. I love it.
That is amazing. And so if there was a young boy, a young man, a young woman, excuse me, a young woman who wants to become a lawyer, like what is some a big of advice? Like what is a piece of advice that you would give um, to he or she?
What I would say is you don't have to know what you want to do right away. Um,
Hmm.
just meet with different lawyers, shadow them, see what they do. I shadowed a criminal defense attorney. I remember when I just graduated, I was interviewing for a job, and there was a lawyer at the steps, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna hire you. They like hiring women." I was like, "Okay." They didn't hire me, by the way, but
No.
but I was like, "Yeah, I just finished school." I was speaking with him, and he said, "Oh, I'm about to go visit my client in jail. You want to come?" And I was like, "Okay, no problem." So like we went
Hmm.
to the jail and saw his client. Um, but I knew I didn't want to do criminal. I worked in the family court when I was in law school. I knew that was not for me because
Hmm.
some of the stories were really sad, and you also had the super rich people arguing over like who gets the house in the Hamptons versus who gets the yacht.
Hmm.
And it's like, you guys are really
Hmm.
fighting over this? Or the kids that they're saying they want to stay with one parent, and you have the lawyer for the other parent cross-examining them, like, who put a band-aid on your knee when you fell? Was it your father or your mother? And it's like, gotta put kids
Hmm.
through all of this stuff too.
Yes.
So I just knew that that wasn't for me. um, Immigration wasn't for me just because I would feel really bad having people that really desperately need these services pay me for
Mm.
immigration services. So I couldn't I do any kind of immigration work, I would do it for free. I would not. I don't have the heart to collect money for immigration work.
Oh, that's nice.
I just can't. You know, you got people, they're here, they want asylum, and they're not even, you know, they don't have the resources, and people are charging them like tens of thousands of dollars, and they're working like crazy to pay off these lawyers. Can't be me. I'm sorry. Can't be me. So you just have to try different things and see what you like, see what you enjoy, speak to different lawyers, shadow as many people as you can. You know, maybe you want to work in government. Look at other alternate paths that you can go on using a law degree. You don't have to have a law degree and become a lawyer. You can get a JD MBA, and someone hires you just because you went to law school. They know that you can think a certain way. There are a lot of jobs where you can have a JD and you don't need a law license, and they will hire you just because you went to law school.
Wow.
So just really speaking to as many people as you can, researching as much as you can, and making the most of your experience when you're in school. Join the organizations, join BALSA, socialize with the professors, speak with them, ask them about their career paths, how they ended up becoming law professors. You can meet people anywhere. My first job, I went to a Black Bar Association event as a first-year student, and they gave us all like tickets to come. And it was the Crawford Black Bar up in Hartford, or up in Connecticut. Not sure if it's Hartford specific. And I was sitting next to someone. We had a conversation, and she got me my first job and my second job. She just, hey, Christine, you still looking for a job? The city is hiring. If you want, they need an intern, and, you know, I'll help you out with that. Second job, hey, someone reached out to me. They're looking for, you know, a law student to work for them. Are you interested? Yeah, I'm interested. And that's how I got it. So just really, you never know who you're going to meet. Speak to everybody, meet everybody, be nice to everybody.
Yes,
really
very important.
Experience. Yeah, you never know. Don't burn bridges. It's not worth it.
Definitely not worth it. And that's a good point too, because you network a lot and you meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And people remember how you treat them. Like there's nothing else they remember. They remember how they felt when they interact with you. And of course, that's in all walks of life, but that's really good advice too, especially for young people coming up too.
Yeah, you never know. You really don't. You don't want to be the person, you meet somebody and then you start like shading them on Instagram or something. And it's like, especially now in this digital age where people are just very like type happy.
Yeah, and people screenshot those things and save it, and and sometimes that stuff stays with you, and they'll repost it and tag you in it, and you know what I mean. So it's got to be very careful about what you say online. Shout out to the PDs, please. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
shout out, please. Yeah, no. Vivian W. Esquire said, "Don't do it." No, but she said, totally joking. And she said, great answer. To the whole to becoming a lawyer situation. So. Man,
she's amazing. She's someone who you probably want to have on your show too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I mean, we can make that happen.
Yes, I did a show with her. She's just awesome.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Well,
she's just awesome. That's it.
All right. I'll definitely look into that. So you have your own firm. So what other services does your firm offer aside from trademarks? Is it just trademarks? Is it copyrights?
It's mainly trademarks.
Mainly
I would say probably 90% of what I do is trademarks. And the rest of it would be filing those LLCs, the nonprofits, some contracts, copyrights as well. But a large, overwhelming majority of what I do is trademarks. And taking over trademarks that were filed by individuals on their own or pro se, or using a stock preparer, whatever. But it's all trademark prosecution. So filing and making sure that you get through to that registration certificate.
Awesome. So you actually file for the LLCs too. So if somebody with a DBA or doesn't have a company but wants to open a company, LLC, they can also come to you as well.
Yeah, so that's something that I do offer. I do
Ah,
file in New
okay.
York and Connecticut only, but
Okay.
if you need something in another state, I can definitely find someone that can take care of you wherever you are, in most states.
Okay. That's good to know because that's another area where people go to, big box to, to file, or they'll try to do it themselves, right?
Yeah,
So that's really good to know because when you're forming an LLC, there's lots of stuff you don't know. And you think that you're just filing and you can try to do it yourself, which some people do, but there's a lot of little things that if you don't know, that you have to file for this even after you filed the LLC. A lot of times
yes,
you think it's over, and it's like, I filed and it's over. But there's a few other things that you have to do that you can get caught up if it's not complete. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Especially in New York, especially.
And
You
that's
know,
exactly what I was going to say. In New York, it's one of those states where I say, like, if it just have someone do it for you. But in most other states, and I just tell clients, you can file. The LLC is not something that I really like push hard on and say like you need a lawyer to file, except for in New York, just because of that whole publishing thing that they have going on. Some people just ignore
that
that. They just ignore it. And I know that when you file LLCs in New York, they send you the direct mail and they'll give you publishing packages, but people also don't even take advantage of that. They just kind of like, I filed it, I got my paper, I got my EIN, I'm good to go. But like you really like have to make sure that you're in good standing and do everything that you need to do. Another thing is
yes.
sometimes people don't know how often they have to file any kind of statement. Some states it's annually, some states it's every 2 years. And you have to
Hmm.
always make sure that you're keeping your information up to date so that they don't perhaps administratively dissolve or close your LLC.
Your business. Yeah. Because and depending on what your business is, you might have to file quarterly,
Mm-hmm.
quarterly taxes, and things like that. But that publishing thing is a real thing, and a lot of people aren't prepared for it because it does cost in New York. It does cost a good grip, like and that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like, and especially
especially
it
down here.
depends on where you file. I don't know where you are, but um, I'm around the Queens area myself. So it's a
It's
lot.
expensive in Queens. It's expensive in
Yeah,
Queens. Brooklyn,
Long Island.
Bronx. Long Island is not so bad. Like Nassau and Suffolk is not so bad. The companies that do it for you, they'll charge around like maybe like 300 to 400 to do that in Long Island. But I know
Mm-hmm.
Queens, it's like over 5, 6, sometimes 7. Bronx like 8, nine hundred
Mm-hmm.
dollars. Manhattan over $1,000. Like it's crazy as
Right.
far
And,
as
and and
the.
and if you're not financially prepared for that too, because that's another bill, that's another thing that you have to do on top of filing and those fees. So those are things that you have to be prepared for
Mhm,
financially as a new business owner as well that you may not think you have to be. So that's really
exactly.
good. Wow, that's really good. And you provide those services too.
Yes,
Um,
I do publish. Sometimes they'll come to me and say like, "Hey, I filed my LLC on LegalZoom, but I didn't do the publishing. Can you help me with that?" And I'll do that as well.
so you do everything. See, this is what I want to know. You do everything.
But
So
it's
so
LLC related, so I
no, I
speak
know, no, I
lawyer.
know. No, which is really, really good though. Wow. Okay, so yeah, so that's good to know. So if you're looking to start an LLC, publishing, you can actually go to Christine, the lawyer. You know what I'm saying, along with your trademark needs and everything that you need like that. But she can do it all, and that's really good because you could be like a one-stop shop, kind of like we'll get your LLC started, we'll get your publishing going, and then that we can get your trademark going too.
Yes, and I love when I get to do the LLC and the trademark at the same time because we can make sure the name is has a strong possibility of getting through to registration before we even file the LLC. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Mm.
if you file the LLC first and you come to me, that brand name may not be available and you might have to start thinking about a new brand name for your business. So,
Wow. And I guess sometimes that's why what I'm seeing now is a lot of people are using like a parent company, right? Like I don't know, it could be, I'll say Terrence Unlimited, right? And the LLC, that's the name of the, just that. And then under that, you have your own brand it's kind of operates underneath the parent brand, right? So pretty much like you're not really worried about the copyrights for the parent brand because it's just there. It's just used for like, you know, for business and, you know, as far as taking payments and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And then you have your brand. Then you can have a different brand that people know you as up under the parent brand, right? So you
Yeah.
might make payments. Yeah. So you might make payments to Terrence Unlimited, right? But like people know me as, you know, Tito Inspires or whatever the case is, or Conversation of the Heart, whatever that, you know, that is, those are the brands, but my people would pay the parent company, which is still me, but I don't have to brand the parent company too.
Yeah. So that's, you actually just made a really good point. Your trademark does not have to be exactly the same as your actual LLC name. So you can have a different LLC name from whatever you're trademarking.
Mm, wow. So now, if you're somebody who has multiple brands, right? So I'll just use me as an example. So I have my merch line, I have my podcast, I have my coaching business. I got a lot of, you know, I've got a few things rolling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your suggestion would be, especially for me, would be to trademark all three of my brands, pretty much.
So this is what I usually tell people. I usually tell them, you look at those items in your business that
Hmm.
distinguish your products from those of others or your services from those of others, and you protect that. That's usually what I say.
Mm, got it. Um, and also whatever's going to be out in the public, right? So if you have a podcast, that's yours, that you've been doing, and that's out there in the public. That's something that you should absolutely trademark, right? Because somebody can see your stuff publicly, obviously, because, you know, so it could be on every podcast network. It could be on YouTube. It's everywhere. Somebody could see that somewhere and say, oh, I like that. Let me see if let me see if I can get that name and trademark it, right? And you haven't trademarked yours yet. And then now they have what you have
They hit you with the cease and
before you
desist.
got it. And you've been working on it. And this could have been your baby for the last 3 to 4 years. They saw it, they liked it, they took it, and now you have to stop what you're doing or change what you're doing because it's no longer yours. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Ooh, that's a pain point. Like that's a real pain point if you've been building something for 3 years or so, sometimes 3 to 4 years, and you don't know that somebody else, if somebody else doesn't have it, but then somebody just sees it and can easily take what you have and then start their own using your idea.
Exactly. There's a lot of people out here that are just leaving their brands naked and unprotected. It's just there. It's just there. I like to, sometimes I share this quote, but I would just say, without a trademark, your brand is for the streets. Like, it's just there for everybody. Like, I like to say that sometimes because it's
I
true.
like that. You're right.
It's for everybody. It's community
Wow.
property. It's just out there. So you don't want your brand, your baby, your brand to be out there like cold
Ooh,
and naked and just like not even like just completely just
wow.
ready for anybody
Wow.
to take.
To take it.
It's not
Wow.
cool. Mm-mm.
No. And even just talking about it, it brings a pain point because you could imagine what somebody might feel if they've worked on something for all these years and then somebody could just see it and then just take it. And you have nobody to blame but yourself, obviously, but it still hurts. Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
sometimes it's like, I was thinking about this a year ago and I should have done it a year ago. Sometimes the difference is months. It's not like something where the person had the trademark for 10, 20, 30 years. A lot of the times, these are people that filed trademarks during the pandemic, you
Mm,
know? So they're coming to me now and trying to do something. And it's like, yeah, someone filed an application in 2021 and It's almost registered.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be registered in a few weeks, actually. So, you know,
Wow.
there's
Wow.
here are your options. You can try to cancel their registration once it's issued, but it doesn't mean that you'll be successful. Or you can rebrand.
Oh, wow. Well, I know a lot of people who are going to watch this, and once this goes out to all the podcast, the audio podcast platforms that I'm going to put it on, is people going to get a lot from this. So before we end this live, I want you to just continue to tell the people again where they can find you, and how they can book your services or inquire about your services, because I think a lot of people can use your services and the things that you bring to the table.
Absolutely. And before we close as well, as a lawyer, I have to always give my disclaimer. So
please do.
Gotta protect the license, right? So this is general educational information, not legal advice. For legal advice, please contact an attorney to discuss your specific situation and what options you have for your particular situation. I am not telling anyone to do anything or to not do anything by the educational information that I've provided today. No attorney-client relationship has been formed with anyone that is listening to this. You need to have signed a retainer in order to be considered a client of my firm. So, yes.
But I'm telling you, hit her up and get that trademark. I'm telling you, I'm not a lawyer. So then, hey, hit her up and go get that trademark, please.
I'm not saying they can't hit me up. I just, and I know you said like, no, of course there's no attorney-client relationship. Trust me, we have to specifically state that there's no attorney-client relationship. Just because sometimes people think that they hear something and you're their client, or they comment on a post and they think that now they're your client. You always have to just, that's an aside. But again, my name is Christine Duchatellier. I am a business and trademark attorney. I help entrepreneurs and creatives protect their businesses and their brands. I mainly file trademarks, but I also do file LLCs. I file nonprofits. I draft contracts. I file copyrights as well. I am here to help entrepreneurs, creatives, artists, influencers, just anyone that has intellectual property, protect what is theirs, and not just protect it, but also have the tools to enforce those protections and even monetize that intellectual property that they have, because intellectual property is valuable. It came from you. You created it from your mind. What you created, I cannot create. Only you can create. So that's why it is, as we've been saying throughout this entire episode, it is very important to protect it. I can be found on Instagram at Christine the Lawyer. Christine is CHRISTINE. The Lawyer, THELAWE. Wow. LAWYER. That was
absolutely
bad. But I'm on the spot, so it's okay.
Hey,
and I'm sure everyone understands.
It's all good.
As far as working together, you can reach out to me, shoot me a DM. I also have my consultation calendar on my profile. If you click book now, you can schedule a call with me. If you click the link in my bio, you can schedule a call with me that way as well. Or if you DM me, you want to schedule a call, I can just send you the link in there. But yeah, that is the easiest way to reach me. And I look forward to connecting with all of you in the future and hopefully helping you protect the wonderful brands that you are building.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And I just want to say salute to you for all the work that you're doing, for becoming a lawyer. You know what I mean? The black queen, lawyer, you know what I mean? So definitely just want to just say salute to you for everything that you're doing, all the success that you're having. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for stopping by, coming on the show, and sharing your expertise. And everybody, please flood her DMs, book her, sign up for the consultation, you know what I'm saying, and support. So Christine, thank you. I appreciate you for being on the show. Thank
No,
you so much.
thank you. I had an amazing time. Thank you for the work that you were doing in the community and having these conversations, bringing people on to share with your audience. I really appreciate the opportunity to address your audience and to share what I offer with them.
Definitely appreciate it. All right, so we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Have a great evening.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.